So it is you. I could not think of a reason why your ghost should haunt the Deadfire, save to haunt me. And that smacks of arrogance. Sister. Another collection of spirits? The rumor was that Cat Nua was destroyed, and you with it. I was sorry to hear it.
It's something.
I did in time. Once I thought I'd summoned up the words to explain what happened in the White March. None of it made much sense to the Regency, but my men stood by me. If I was mad, so were they. When the priest spoke of Aethys' return, I volunteered to come, along with a few of my men. I think the Morning Council was content to have me out of the way. That's putting it all very simply. But then, I suspect few of us have simple reasons for coming to the Deadfire. So, his appearance has renewed your faith as well. I think for once I am content to wait. If our God wishes to speak with us, wishes anything of us, he will give us a sign. The priests pray daily for it. I would know if he has a plan for Saris.
Seem to remember he already had one. Just wasn't any good.
Yes, played a jealous child. All you knew of his plan was that you weren't part of it.
Aethys had something he wanted to get done, and he chose Saris to pay the price. Yet here you are, begging for more. Say what you want about Dear Woodens, but at least they got a will of their own.
You're right. That was uncalled for. I apologize. I don't know. I came here on a pilgrimage of a kind. Nekataka is full of spirits. And the sea, where to begin?
Self-loathing is a blight on the soul, Adaric. Don't make your journey through hell darker than it has to be.
You're right, of course, sister. You are a watcher still, yet you are neither mad nor killed. It's good to see. The cure you sought, and which I was weak enough to doubt. See, there. Determination will win out every time. And now you are on to new challenges. That sword was only meant to keep you alive through your ordeal. It's fulfilled its purpose. Each missive from the Deadfire raises new tumult. Some believe our Lord restored, while others doubt. We've done penance for many long years. None of us know what forgiveness ought to look like.
It doesn't seem like Aethys has his mind on forgiveness these days.
Take care, and may the shining God light your way.
It's you.
Here's where I do the ritual. Right there under the statue of
God
Gon.
hears your prayers, surely as I do.
I can't believe it. Is that really you? And Adair, you made it out of Gilded Vale for good then. I'm glad.
A lot more might have made it out if you hadn't left them for dead.
I haven't forgotten. It's why I'm here, Adair. I kept to my word. I started trying to help around town like you told me. When the Hollowborn curse ended, it was like... You can't imagine what that meant to everyone. We had some good years. Then word came through that the Dawn Stars were coming out here, that the Shattered God was back to being the Shining God. Blazes, I tossed and turned about it. I figured there couldn't be a clearer sign. So now I'm doing what I can, handing out food mostly, or delivering supplies. Familiar work, I guess. Took some getting used to, working shoulder to shoulder with Raid Sarens, but it's not so hard as you'd think. Feels like I'm on the right path, toward a little piece of redemption, maybe? You too, eh? Don't know what you have to be sorry for. Would be nice to get some answers, maybe. Or forgiveness for getting his people killed. I don't know. Doing my best, Lord.
Hungry? Come on up. Don't be shy. The Shining God will bless you for it, sir. That coin will help those in need. Blessing of Aethys upon you.
Jody, I do hope you are not getting into trouble now.
Who, me? No, I wouldn't dream of it.
Do swine stink like shit? I'm guessing you're not here to worship. Then what can I do for you? Oh, yes. People are afraid, angry. Change can be frightening. But what did any of us come here for, if not a new beginning? No more than anywhere else. No sense fighting it. The water sustains our faith, surely as it does these trees.
Gone's the only one that matters.
The Shining God's got many faces, but they're all his to wear. Divine King Widewind, he saw the dawn stars, telling him of things to come. But it's gone with sickle and lantern, so it's come to the Deadfire. Our God's returned, and he's gonna bring balance to the world. He's gonna right all the wrongs we have suffered. Gone will bring a new beginning for all of us when that hour comes. We receive followers of the Shining God every day. You might want to speak with Nordegand over there. She's been here the longest, and takes care to know everyone of our faith.
Here for a meal? Just get in line, dear. Ain't no trick to it.
Hey, there's a lady I'm looking for. Came from Deerwood. Short, got a bad temper. It goes by Alava Mazzy. Heard of her?
I know an Alava, but that ain't a surname.
No?
Not real warm, that one. Stop by unannounced, you get a pistol up your nose when she answers the door.
Yeah, that's her. So, she's living with her, husband, then?
Not that I noticed.
Must be laying low.
Just that boy of hers.
She's got a son? How old would you say? Like a little boy?
I'd be happy to help you with the math.
Nah, just curious.
Oh, I couldn't say. It's been years. He must be a young man by now.
Wow, that's something. Well, thanks for your help.
Don't you want to know where to find her?
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
She's in Hasongo, last I heard. Got a little plot of land out there.
I guess we'll look that way then. Much obliged. Something I can do? I got time.
I've got it.
Nothing like a homecoming to make a girl remember her roots, even if they are dried up and half dead. Sometimes I wonder if my brethren don't think I got black ichor running in my veins. Suppose they do. Suppose sometimes people do bad things in the name of their gods. But my brethren do more good than bad, and more good than most. Besides, I often don't understand you, Watcher, but I ain't afraid of you.
Excellent.
Is it? Sakes alive. You shouldn't be so fine to me, Watcher. Makes me think untoward things. Gives me notions I don't need to be getting. I can't risk straying when I got a duty to gone. All right. Yeah, I'm ready. I've done this before, but never with such a full lantern. You may want to stand back. The experience can be somewhat intense.
I don't know. But something is happening.
Don't know if I feel cleaner, but I feel something. Blessed, for sure. Let's just hope it lasts. Because my lantern feels as heavy as ever. Full to brimming with essence. Like dark water spilling over my mind. I was born to reap souls and lead them to the light. Now with Aethys dead, and these dire visions, I think I need to shield them from a hell gone dark. But the more I gather, the more my mind turns to tatters. That ain't gonna happen. You'd ask me to turn my back on my god? Why do you think the god of rebirth held an aspect of death within him? You can't have life without dying. There ain't no beginning without a prior ending. Ain't no day without night. No spring without fall. You can't grow crops if you never harvest for seeds. Aethys is dead, and gone is the death before life. He's the ripeness before the fall. That lumbering hunk of Audra might claim to be Aethys, but that doesn't matter a whit. He died, so he can't be Aethys anymore. Death changes every soul, even a god's. And if it doesn't, it should. All right, I'll be right behind you. Watcher, I was wondering if I could run something by you. Well, to put it simply, you are. I've tried, but I can't get you out of my thoughts and dreams. Forgive my audacity. I know I've got no place to, but I care for you more than I can rightly say. I was wondering if you might return the sentiment. Why would I believe, or hell even think, the Watcher himself could be interested in me? Wanted it desperately, yes, but hoped? I'm almost afraid to believe it, that you would want me just as much and fierce. But darned if it doesn't make me so very, very happy. I'm gonna make you so glad you picked me, Watcher. You'll see. You taste like forgotten dreams, like fate. Watcher, I thought you might never ask. There's so much I've longed to try and to see, or to not see. Let me turn my lantern low. I want nothing but shadows between us. That was divine. Surely, Watcher, you are a blessing from gone.
Right.
Reckon that's the first time I ever bore witness to my own demise. It was not pretty. Never woke with such a driving need for reaping before. It's making my hands shake. It did for a while, but then it wore off. All this essence I've gathered. It soaked the blessing right up. Left me with hardly none. A dream from gone is what it was. I just ain't sure yet what the symbolism means. Seems the more souls I gather, the better I see Gone's will. And the less I get a wink of sleep. Night or day, sleep or waking. It's getting harder to tell what's real from what's just yet to come. There is something I'm meant to do, though. Once I gather enough souls. Us Gonites, we're supposed to shepherd lost souls, not just gather them. The harvesting's only the first part. If I were to dump the souls, it might make me dream less, like before. Or, darn it, who knows? Maybe it'd just make it all worse. Either way, I've got to find my purpose. Will you help me, Watcher? I was hoping you might would. Sometimes I feel like, with you by my side, I can stand against gods. It'll need to be a potent source to overpower the draw of my lantern. It's gotta be luminous for sure. And that's one problem solved. But what about the itty-bitty issue regarding the god of rebirth not actually being in hell? The souls will make it safely, but who's to see to their proper reseeding? This is a huge risk of Aora's balance. You really trust Malgrin not to rebirth Aethasians as warriors of the flame? Think Galawain won't be greedy? Gone aside, the god's past actions don't instill me with the greatest confidence. Normally, I'd simply safekeep him until the god of rebirth could return to hell. But you're saying I ought to have more faith. Doubt's unbecoming of a priestess, and distrust is downright sinful. You're right. I ought to deliver as many souls to hell as I can, before it's too late. We need to empty my lantern right away. Gods, but you're clever. This is why Gon directed me into your path. I just know it. What can I do you for? Watcher? Tell me what's on your mind? They're there in my head when I sleep, and sometimes I can taste them on the back of my... It's time I got about searching for lost souls.
Sure. You know how I've been saying there's nothing more important to me than us freeing you from Bareth's bonds? Well, I meant that. I did. But there's this other thing I need to see about. On the way, like. I was gonna tell you. Thanks. I'm not sure I could anyway. This woman, well, love's not the right word, but she was something to me once, back in Gilded Vale. When I was mayor of Deerford, I had this vision of what I wanted it to look like. It was gonna be what Gilded Vale was, before the legacy. And in some ways it got there. I was proud of that. But it didn't feel like I thought it would. Come to realize there was someone I needed to show it to. Ilava, she'd have been about the last person left in Deerwood who'd have seen what I made and understood. Last I saw her, she was going to New Hayamar. Went looking for her there, only to find that she'd left a long time ago. Anyway, I don't expect you to understand. But I gotta know she ended up all right. Yeah, that's something. Coming out of Deerwood during that time. When I knew her, she had another little boy, just a baby. But the legacy deprived him of a proper life. I never found out what happened to him, but with the Hollowborn, he didn't have to ask. Guess he got a brother, though. No, but I don't see a way to let this go. Least a way's not now. Last time I saw Ilava, we got friendly. Now she's got a son.
How much of Aora have you actually visited? Which lands? No, wait. What was the strangest thing you ever saw?
Found an island with a pillar of Adra carved into a giant foot.
God, what a thrill. You're so well-traveled. It's amazing. But don't you ever miss home? What about your loved ones?
Aside from my family, Anyone special to me is already here, Firefly.
Well, that's... You see, I mean, same for me. I thought I'd miss my brethren more, but having someone who understands me, it's a surprising relief.
You used to work a farm, growing Vorless.
I've got it.
Hunter, do you...
down.
Lava beyond seeking.
That's right!
I know your end.
There's a wallaby! Take him down.
No good.
Lava beyond seeking.
I bring your end.
That was amazing. You're so great at killing things. I mean, really great. Wow. I feel incredible. Can we do it again?
Right.
Behold, Aethys is risen again. He is glorious in form.
Welcome back. Governor Alvari will see you.
Welcome back. Please, go ahead. Very well.
Arrivato, Watcher. I'm not sure what to make of this report from Elet. The Beast of Winter. Is this meant to be some kind of metaphor? What can I do for you today, Watcher?
You're right. He does do that with his hands.
Fie, 'tis roughing his precious spelling book that scares the lad. Or maybe 'tis notching his wee finger.
You gotta stop. My sides hurt. Oh, I miss this.
Surely you've spied how he's always brushing himself. You won't say, but he's afeard of seagull shit.
What do you require?
You crack the spine of the old book, revealing blackened pages of dense, illegible text. The words recede into the shadows the longer you focus on them. Suddenly, the page widens to eclipse the world around you. A dark void stretches out on all sides, the air full of choking fumes that carry dying embers and curling flakes of ash. Something stirs in the darkness. An old woman steps forward, leering down at you from on high. Her smile is toothy and cruel. Her cheeks warp around it like melted candle wax.
I'm so glad that my messenger tracked you down. These days it's impossible to find good help. Watcher, before you draw your weapon, know that these proceedings are under a banner of peace. If this was a trap, it would have already closed around you. While Bareth whispers in one ear and Aethys shouts in the other, I thought you could use a more seasoned perspective to drown out the noise. Don't you find it unusual how open and accessible my siblings have made themselves? After millennia of subdued whispers, now they practically scream their intentions. And isn't it strange how we never bicker unless a mortal is watching? By necessity, in fact. But that's hardly the point. If we still possessed our glorious titans, my siblings and I would have put an end to Aethys and his rampage by now. While we are powerless to stop him, some of my kin wish to observe how mortals respond to this threat. They think it will shine a light on the value of our patronage. Have we raised you well enough to be self-sufficient? Or must we return to Eora and impose some corrective measures? What indeed? That would depend on which of us you ask. Our cross-section of society has converged on the Deadfire. Some of my kin are of an opinion that we are meant to judge mortals on the basis of their performance, while the rest of us have already made up our minds on the matter. Clever child. It's important for my own reasons that I earn your trust. For now, at least. When we ascended to godhood, we did so to provide for a savage people. Our goal was to craft a society whose values were made to last. Perhaps even a society that had no need of us. A naive fallacy, but one that inspired my optimistic, misguided kin. How you and your allies counter this threat will demonstrate whether you are competent enough to guide your own destinies, or if we need to revise our strategy. The soft-hearted among us are counting on you to win this existential wager. No doubt, Aethys shares their sympathies. I do not. We exist to rule over mortals. Nothing can change that. So now you know the truth. I assume you have questions? Whether knowingly or unintentionally, you seem to find yourself on the vanguard of change. Mortals like you come but once in a lifetime. Some would react poorly if I stripped mortals of their freedom without giving them a chance to plead their case. You have the honor of standing tall as their advocate. Before I return to Eora and assume my position as your deserving tyrant, you have this opportunity to prove me wrong, to demonstrate whether or not mortals are responsible enough to claim their future. You speak as if you do. Mortals have precious little time to decide for themselves. Will they stand together as one, or swallow their pride and bend the knee? I have every confidence that you will disappoint us. Once my position is upheld, the undecided among the gods will embrace my plan. Prove it or disprove it, yes. I never agreed to this arrangement, but if your example demonstrates mortal ineptitude, as I trust it will, then I can make the plan serve me. An assertive minority of gods believe that your choices will prove the value of their wild optimism. As if mortal collaboration and ingenuity are endorsements of our leadership. Then there are those of us who know better, who are not so easily convinced. Kith are vulnerable, unless they submit to the destiny we chart for them. Thinking otherwise can only breed dissent and chaos. It was an ambitious plan, our utopia. Perhaps too ambitious. We ascended to power, responding to a need inadequately satisfied. Assuming these roles gave us the authority to mold Eora over time, to influence you and lay the groundwork for a society yet to come. On the outset of the plan, some believed that mortals would outgrow us. As if that was a favorable outcome. To me, our eternal pantheon was always a critical fixture. Aethys was one of those who supported mortals, while I have always been their most vocal critic. A valid, self-defeating question, and one which I posed often. We assumed that they, whoever they were, would reveal themselves to us. Rational government would rule in our stead, leaving churches vacant. Thanks to Aethys, we're pulling the dough from the oven before it's had a chance to fully rise. You unfortunate bastards never had the chance to prove me wrong. Opposition can take many forms. If a church embraces and weaponizes my doctrine, that is very different from me rampaging as a titan. Aethys is not known for subtlety. Twice now, he has contaminated the purity of our experiment, and done so with extravagant displays that undermine our authority. His approach was sophisticated, indirect. I owe you no explanations on the matter. Besides, you are not worthy to speak his name. I am the counterpoint to the soft-hearted. It makes no difference if mortals pass some arbitrary test. My mind is settled on the matter. Regardless of my feelings, the timing of this crisis forces us to accelerate our schedule. Final judgment comes sooner than any of us would prefer. You mean gods crafting a godless world? Naturally. My siblings desired to influence mortals and steer them in a proper direction, even if that direction led to places we could not follow. I have no intention of being left behind. Society would unravel without its queen to impose strict order. If our pantheon found that mortals had cultivated a perfect, lawful system to maturity, I would not voice a word in protest. I would merely stand aside and await the inevitable collapse. Mortals need us. I know this as well as I know myself. Even a lawful and responsible society would be poised to collapse as long as its architects and strongest adherents were mortal. Any satisfaction that my siblings derived from their little experiment would be short-lived, and it would fall to me to clean up after their mess. Freedom is an unachievable illusion, heralded by the soft of heart. Only those who can find satisfaction in captivity are truly free. Make no mistake, Watcher. In this, I cannot be proven wrong. You have learned much already. Only ask if you are ready for the truth. Nothing you've done has tarnished it utterly beyond repair. You may congratulate yourself on that much, at least. The wheel is our shared responsibility, and each of us serves it in our own fashion. I am the axle upon which the gods balance their power. Aethys keeps the wheel in motion. He was our promise to mortals that time and labor would yield a deserving reward on the next turning of the cycle. At the height of our power, we recognized the potential of the soul. We knew that it could be bound, split apart, diverted like a river, and hammered together. Hammering was trivial. Those of us who agreed with the Apotheosis Project, and many who did not, submitted to a violent and horrible erasure of our individuality. After the dust settled, we adopted the forms of beings from Eora's most prevalent myths. There were other faiths and legends, but we labored to strike their names from history. Much of reincarnation's mechanism exists in the idea space of the beyond. You wouldn't find a wall of cogs and levers unless we conjured one to illustrate a point. The wheel has but one material component in all of Eora. Something we built to channel essence through luminous Adra and into the beyond with reliable continuity. Before we intervened, the flow of essence was directionless, unpredictable. We succeeded in widening the gap, diverting it, giving it an efficient path to follow. Before we took control of the wheel, reincarnation was error-prone, lacking forward momentum. Hollowborn were fairly common, and hardly the worst of the soul maladies. Control gave us the power to strengthen the souls of intelligent kith over generations. We made you wiser, stronger, more likely to develop the society we thought you deserved. Every turning of the cycle demonstrated the righteousness of my belief. Nature begets chaos, and discipline begets perfection. Speak, Watcher. It isn't every day that I open myself to these communions, so spend your breath wisely. Yes, I think we will. This is not the end of our discussion. You know how to find your way back to this place.
Wotica nods stiffly. You feel her presence drift as a breeze, rustling as it goes.
Agrasima, Casita, for taking me on.
Is there anything the Watcher does not see? We have both seen the worst of the city. How the Reparu cluster like sea rats. Delver's Row will take care of them for a time, but I say the Crown will not suffer the Principe for long. How did the stone walls and paved lanes of Neketaka divide us so? You have walked the length of Neketaka's spine. How would you serve the needs of all these people at once? You think that something in the great pattern of Neketaka does not align with the Hawana way? I was hard-pressed to find insight like yours in Pariki's Overlook. You have questions? Ikera, I have answers.
I should come clean about something, Captain. Atsura didn't set me loose just so I could stay busy. Fact of the matter is, he gave me a job to do. I've got this stack of missives I need to deliver. Noble errand, right? The company has a lot of people working away from headquarters, and Atsura trusted me to get these in the right hands. I hope that isn't a problem. Watch out, Ishi. We've got a charmer on our hands. That's the thing about Atsura. He keeps so many irons in the fire at once that everything seems like a high priority. A bit of everything. Shipping manifests, requisitions for supplies, work orders. Mostly work orders. You wouldn't believe how much paperwork it takes to run a navy. Don't take it personally if I'm vague on some of the details. Atsura likes his discretion, even when it comes to boring bureaucratic stuff. The second that I need you to worry, you'll know. Count on it. Pew pew. This one's bound for Harama, an acquaintance. Good sailor. He's somewhere off in Tikawara. And these are for Tuaha, an old friend stationed in Port Maje. You meet some strange types in the Navy. I've got some answers.
Not to be telling you your business, Cap, but if we don't set sail for Deadlight, Benworth will finish his repairs and pull anchor. And Deadlight's a tough coconut to crack. But if not cracking, what are nuts for? Smart play for crashing any party involves scavenging yourself up an invite. And I, Captain, from stem to looking the part in this case, don't have to tell you how dangerous such a bit of fabric can be if the wrong person catches you flying it. I'm all ears, Captain. Oh, you be asking me for a plan. Frankly, I were curious to witness how the famed Watcher of Cad Nua would penetrate the impenetrable. But since you asked, just give me a tick. Vast. I might have pulled a plan out of this hairy blue ass after all. Way I see it, we have an option or two ranging from the wildly dangerous to the fantastically suicidal. So tell you me, Cap, what be your preferred approach to problems unapproachable? Smart play for crashing any party, and I, Captain, looking at... Don't have to tell you how dangerous such a bit of fabric... I'm all ears, Captain. Later, sure.
Don't let anyone tell you you're too shrimpy to be a fighter. I was half your age when I started training. Yeah? Tell me what's on your mind. They're there in my... And sometimes I can taste them on the back of my tongue. You know where to find me if you want to talk. Or if you'd like to commune in other ways.
Not happening.
Wonder what Pa's up to. Let's get a move on. What are we standing around for?
Captain. Or should I call you the Watcher of Cadnua? I confess that title. Something of a mouthful. How very informal of you. I think I would prefer something a bit more decorous. Captain it is, then. When you took me aboard, you neglected to mention that you were in pursuit of a rampaging deity. The Blue Colossus may be one of the defining events of the age. I count myself fortunate to bear witness to your investigation. Speaking of, let us return to it, yeah?
Casita, I'm glad we have this chance to talk. I have not properly thanked you for taking me away from that place. Perhaps not, but I wish to do so all the same. That shop and my apprenticeship were like a diving bell, dragging me all the way to the bottom with barely enough air to survive. Arkemir was fond of tormenting me. If he had taught me anything of substance, I might even have endured his wretched company a while longer. In any case, now I am free to study the world, and it is because of you. So, now I will say it. Agrasima. Ah, what a question. Arkemir is elusive. That flamboyant house of his? It is all a performance, a mask that people will not think to peer beneath. I had a sneaking suspicion that he knows more about magic than the rest of the Circle combined. Or maybe he is just an accomplished liar. I may never know the truth. It is a funny thing. I was so quick to chase my ambitions, as if an apprenticeship would outline the course of my life. In the end, I was building a castle in the sand. The taller it rose, the harder the waves swept in to batter it down. Now I have no plan, and the uncertainty is a refreshing change. Right now, I desire nothing more than to enjoy my liberation. I will worry about the problems of the world as they come. I came to the archipelago as a groveling apprentice. One day, I hope I will leave it with a speck more dignity than that. What more could you desire to know, Casita? Not if it means I must submit to a bickering council of madmen plotting against each other. If I ever scribed a spell, it would be the best-kept secret in Eora. Only I would enjoy the satisfaction of knowing it. Fascina's mirthless laugh. Fascina's prickling pox. No, I have it. Fascina's withering glare. I like the sound of that. Being a part of the circle has its little perks, but also some headache-inducing responsibilities. At least one member must always watch over the Deadfire and see that matters do not fall into total disarray. Arkemir wanted the job about as much as he wanted to lance a boil on his deflated scrotum. But the alternative was giving stewardship to Maura. No one in the circle trusted her with the archipelago. With trading companies dividing up the islands, they didn't think a Huana could stay detached. They also hate tentacle magic. During the changing of the guard, while a handful of imps loaded Arkemir's ship for the journey south, I stowed away in a dresser. Once we were at sea, I made my presence known. A dozen imps tore at my hair and pushed me towards the railing. When Arkemir saw me struggle, he didn't step in to help. He just gave me work. I did what I could to make myself useful. Stitched the sails, disciplined the imps. That one impressed him most of all. By the end of the voyage, I had the little stinkers saluting me as I passed. When we made port in Neketaka, he introduced me as his apprentice and installed me at the cupboard for a life of clerical drudgery. You know the rest. I was searching for a life beyond the cupboard, and that handsome oaf was blessed with a silver tongue. Came in handy when he was licking the boots of his creditors. I don't regret our time together. That was just a different Fascina. What are you looking at? Go back to rearranging your massage oils or whatever it is you do here.
Aye, aye, Casita.
I have always dreamed of opening a magic shop in Neketaka. That was a joke. When I set out on this path, I discovered quickly that magic is all tied up in grammar, precision, and insufferable rules. Take a grimoire, for example. Misplace an accent mark over a rune, all the logic of a spell collapses around it.
And you'd prefer something more ill-defined why, exactly?
To some of us. I don't want to break the rules of magic, but I want to rewrite some of them. Loosen them up so that any sharp mind can take up the study. The Circle would hate that, wouldn't they? If they could not reinforce their superiority over the rest of us, they might even disband. You assume a great deal, Casita. When they are not striding across an island, the gods concern me about as much as Eora's moons. Religion was never very important to me. I do not expect that to change now that the gods have revealed their petty, narrow-minded ways. I heard a member of your crew whispering of this, but I am pleased to have it confirmed. Knowing this forbidden truth, does it change anything for you? Perfetto. If the gods are not as legitimate as we once assumed, does this make them any less our gods? Does it make your Ardra Colossus retrace his steps back to Cad Nua? As far as revelations go, this one is not very poignant for me. Maybe I'm just the wrong audience. Nothing takes me by surprise. Ask away, Casita. Your friend Aloth carries himself with confidence, but to me he seems like a small animal in search of shelter.
Yes. You only have to ask.
Yes? What's on your mind?